Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of a D1 athlete and a high school athlete pursuing a scholarship. With a wealth of experience to share, here's Recruit Me CEO Brent Hanks.
Welcome to episode 256 of the Athletic Scholarship Podcast. This week's episode is an interview with my oldest son, Parker. Parker is entering his senior year academically in college at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. He actually has 2 years of athletic eligibility left because of COVID, if he wishes to continue to play baseball after this upcoming 2021-2022 season. Parker is a left-handed pitcher for the Wildcats. Let's listen to Parker as he looks back on his view of his recruitment, his academics and athletic experience throughout the last 3 seasons, and he gives some advice to you as a high school student athlete. Parker, thanks for coming on. Parker, tell us about your plans your senior year, both academically and athletically.
For my senior year, I'm wrapping stuff up academically, set to graduate with my major in economics and minor in business and legal studies this year for my undergrad. This fall, actually, I'm through the school doing an internship program that's going to count for class credit. So right now, currently looking for where I'm going to do that. Hoping somewhere within the finance industry, and then going to use the winter and spring to just finish up anything I need to do, any class I need to take, along with just some electives. So I might kind of explore different areas and stuff that sound interesting in those last 2 quarters. And then athletically, looking to have a good year next year. Already starting to learn from last year and build up and get better, and hopefully next spring have a good year.
One of the things with Northwestern is they have quarters. So tell us what quarters are.
Yeah, so normal schools, a lot of schools around the nation just have the 2 semesters. We actually have 4 quarters. They're 10 weeks. So the first quarter is in the fall. So that's whenever we get there in September until Christmas time. And then starts again in January to spring break. And then after spring break into the summer. And then there's a summer quarter. But the main 3 are the fall, the winter, and the spring.
And how many classes in a quarter do you normally take, Parker?
So I've done maximum 4. Most student athletes take 4, and then usually during season, I only take 3. I put myself in a good position where outside the internship quarter this fall, the other 2, I'm going to be able to take 3. It's just better during season because it's lighter workload compared to the 4 classes. So that's what the typical year looks like.
And you took some summer classes your freshman and sophomore year that kind of took a load off during your baseball season, didn't you?
Yeah, correct. So both, I've taken 2 summer classes, one going to my freshman year and then one in between my freshman sophomore year. Those often are a lighter workload, so they're not as hard as in the regular school year, but they've also put me in a position where whenever season comes, I was able to not take as many classes, or throughout the year, if I was in a more difficult class, I was in a good position to drop it and it not hurt my eligibility or not be on track to receive my degree whenever I wanted to anymore.
One of the things that you did, along with some of your teammates and your recruits in your class, is you went up the summer before your freshman fall semester and got acclimated on some classes and acclimated around the town and acclimated on campus. That worked out good for you, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was good because, like you said, out of the, I think, 7 guys in my recruiting class coming in, I think we had 5 of us around campus that summer. It was good just because, one, we were able to meet everybody, all the upperclassmen, all the administration, academic advisors, coaches, etc. And then we were able to be around each other and just gain experience both on the campus, how to handle the academics through the one class that we had, and then also jumpstart athletically, whether that was training baseball or in the weight room or other aspects. We were able to get started before a lot of other people that weren't on campus in the summer.
That was actually back in the Stone Ages when you could actually go to class and not just do classes online.
Yeah, hopefully this fall we're back on in classrooms and on campus. This last year, everything was online and it was just different. It was probably one of the most difficult academic years I've had, just because online learning is so much different than in classroom, and you really have to pay attention at all times, even though there's more distractions while sitting in your room compared to having to be in the classroom where you're confined to listening to the professor.
Well, and that may be part of the new business world that we go into. So hopefully that will be good training for you in the next couple of years and as you get into your career.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it. Just wrapped up an internship. So, and it was all online. So I feel like it was prepared. Just this last year's preparing me, just sending emails and communicating with people not in person. I feel like that's a skill a bunch of people have developed within the last year just because of the pandemic.
Let's jump back into the recruiting process. Parker, what was the hardest part of your recruiting process, if you can remember back that far?
I'd say just waiting. I mean, it's a not knowing where you're going to go or who is going to offer you is, I mean, that's hard. Like you don't know where you're going to end up or where the next 4 or 5 years of your life's going to take place. So just that waiting game is very, very difficult. But once you figure it out and once offers come in and then you get the chance to decide based on that, that's really fulfilling and worth it.
What was another stressful part of recruiting?
Yeah, I'd just say not knowing who is there. Like you can email coaches all you want, but ultimately you might not know if they're watching you or not. So that was a very stressful part, is you could go and have a good game and no one saw it, where then you can go and have a bad game and you have 3 coaches watching you. So that would be probably the stressful part, is knowing that sometimes you have to bring your A game at all time, because sometimes coaches are watching, sometimes they're not.
Yep.
What was the highlight of your recruitment?
Probably my commitment day. And whenever I finally announced that I was going to Northwestern, that was one of the biggest days of my life. And that was one of the best one. It's very exciting. Everyone, you get a lot of congratulations, and then you start figuring stuff out. And so that's a highlight in general. And then visits are always fun, and just knowing that you're wanted definitely makes you feel good, because of all the work that you've put in prior to that is coming to fruition, and you finally get to know where you're going and the place that wants you.
The day that Northwestern's pitching coach came to watch you pitch, you knew he was there, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. We were up in Chicago playing, and we were actually up sightseeing in the Sears or Willis Tower whenever Reynolds first called me. So we were up in Chicago and sightseeing and do all that whenever I first got the call saying he was going to come to my game the next day. And then it was soon after that where I was quickly on campus, and everything happened after that.
Like you said, you have to perform, whether you know whether coaches are there or whether you're just sending them video. You've got to be have your A game at all times.
Yeah, definitely now, especially where you're seeing a lot more video get sent out, especially with COVID, where coaches aren't traveling. They're looking for video, whether it is in stats coming from your coaches or different organizations that are doing that. So everyone's now watching. All these organizations are videoing you at all times. So you got to be able to, play at a high level at all times, because eyes are always on you now.
So, Parker, what do you like best about college, both academically and athletically?
I mean, it's easy athletically. It's just like combination of the experiences, getting to go places, play different teams, see different areas, travel, and then also just teammates. You make bonds with guys that you're going to be close to the rest of your life. So that's probably the biggest thing, and that's something that is exciting whenever you're going in, is just getting to meet new people and really be around the guys that you are going to be close to for the next 4 years and many years after that. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that I've enjoyed athletically. And then academically, it's just you find out what you really enjoy. I went into school as an intended biology major. That didn't last very long. I quickly switched over to econ, and I figured out that's what I'm good at and something that I'd like to pursue a career in. So just college, I believe, academically gets you outside of that bubble in high school and really challenges you to figure out what you really enjoy.
Outside of baseball, what lessons have you learned that might help you after you graduate?
This might connect to baseball a little bit, and it obviously helps, but like to do well, you just got to work your butt off at everything, whether it's school, athletically, just really anything. Like you're only going to get out of it what you put in. So if you don't take the time to sit down and study and do your homework, like obviously stuff's not going to work out. And it's same thing in the real world. If you don't do your stuff, you're not going to get that promotion, or in, worst case scenario, you get fired. So college, I believe, like when you're away from your parents, away from people to really lock you in that you've been around your whole life, college makes you do that to yourself. And that's a big skill to learn in the real world, and something that's going to help you future be very successful in whatever you want to do and whatever you end up doing.
You want to have fun in college, but it's important to surround yourself with high-level and driven people, both academically and athletically, right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've had such a good support system at Northwestern, and the academic athletic department really provides a lot for us and makes sure we're on point, considering it is such a high academic school. And just like the coaches do a good job making sure we're on top of our schoolwork first and foremost, because if we don't perform in school, we're not eligible to play. So obviously they want to make sure that everything in the classroom's all right. And along with you have other guys that are holding you accountable because of the same situation, like your team, and they're not going to perform to the highest level they can if you're missing a player. So that support system going around, guys holding each other accountable, coaches holding you accountable, and then along with the athletic academic support staff is a good combination to make sure you are getting everything done.
Parker, I'll brag on you. You've made academic all Big Ten the last 2 years, is that right?
Yeah, that is.
Why didn't you make it your first year?
Freshmen aren't eligible.
There you go.
Other than actual coaches, Parker, what person on campus has helped you the most academically and athletically?
Probably the biggest help ever since I first stepped on campus has been my academic advisor. Her name's Felicia. She's on call at all times, helps me schedule. I have meetings with her all the time, make sure I have all my stuff together, deals with helping me to travel, and just really make sure that all of our houses are in order. So she has a certain group of guys on the team that she keeps in touch with at all times. And, whether it's if you fail a test, you can give her a call and she'll help you like decide if you should drop the class or keep the class or how it's going to affect things. And even you can even talk to her about baseball or whatever. You can just lean on them. And I'm sure most schools have that support staff with an like academic advisor, but she's just been such a big help for me, just with whatever I need, both academically and athletically. I can just let her know, pick up the phone, text her, and get answers pretty quickly.
Does she work with all baseball players or just a certain number of players or athletes?
She has a certain number of baseball players, so there are multiple academic advisors in the group, but she also does other sports, so she doesn't only have baseball players. But I'd say she has a lot of guys around my age, so I'd say she has probably 10 baseball guys, and then also other sports. So there's multiple different people have different academic advisors, and I really like Felicia. I think she's the best one selfishly, but all of them are good and have helped out everyone on our team.
Parker, do you have any other college advice that we can pass along to the high schoolers that are listening?
One, it all starts with academics. If you're not eligible, you're not going to play, obviously, but also once you become back eligible, there's the stigma that you're not a good student, and that might translate over to the field or whatever you play. Is like my coach always says it best. He's like, if you don't have your house in order, how are we gonna be able to trust you on the field? So that's number one, is just having your stuff together, both academically and within your personal life. And the second is just don't expect anything right away. Don't expect innings. Don't expect to be on the field playing time. You might be the top dog in high school, but once you get there, there's guys that are 4 years older than you that you have to compete for. And that's what it is. It's a competition every day. And so you can't take time off.
You had a very normal freshman year in baseball season. Then your sophomore year got canceled because of COVID. And then this season was weird because of scheduling. And you and many other players didn't get as many innings because of all the weird scheduling and the COVID. So things can change. And that's a big life lesson, that things don't always go according to plans.
Yeah, you can't take anything for granted. If you're out there, you got to make the most of it and just cherish every opportunity. And I think that's what this last year and the canceled season the year prior has really shown a lot of people and opened people's eyes that what they have can be taken away really fast. So you got to make the most of every opportunity and have good experiences whenever you can.
Well, Parker, you are my first returning interviewee, and I appreciate all the information and the insight that you've given. Good luck as you head back to campus this fall. We're looking forward to watching you play again. Any final words for the Recruit Me listeners?
Enjoy getting to play in front of people again. I'd say that's one of the biggest things that we really like to do now and really cherish now, is just getting to play in general. So enjoy it, enjoy the experiences, and thanks for having me.
Last week's Athletic Scholarship Podcast episode 255 had item number 2 and item number 3 from the recruiting checklist that is found in the Athletic Scholarship 24-month Planner and Journal book written by John Fugler, the Recruit Me founder. You can get the 24-month Planner and Journal on Amazon or by emailing me at brent@recruit-me.com. The book is only $20 and has the recruiting checklist, plus 300 pages of helpful ways to plan and record your recruiting process. In review, item number 1 on the checklist is select the right schools to contact. Item number 2 is build your introductory packet and questionnaire. And item number 3, produce your video. So this week we highlight item number 4 on track your communications. Under item number 4 of the checklist, you can do and check off these essential to-dos. Number 1, build a contact chart. 2, use columns for the school, the coach, the coach's phone numbers and emails, what items you sent, what video links you sent, the contact dates, and some notes. Number 3, journal your interactions with the coaches and to the coaches in the contact dates and notes column. Number 4, prepare questions to ask coaches. Questions about athletics, academics, college life, and financial. Tune in over the next 4 to 5 weeks to get the rest of the checklist items. Or take advantage of the Start of Summer special and get the Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System and the Athletic Scholarship 24-month Planner and Journal. Both of those for only $127. Go to recruit-me.com and click on the new Recruit Me 3.0 tab. When you purchase by clicking the Get Access button, you will get the Recruit Me 3.0 available to download and use immediately. I will mail you the 300-plus page planner and journal after your purchase. Get this special now. This offer ends July 12th. Thank you for listening, and join me next week for episode 257. That episode will walk you through the Eligibility Center and how to navigate getting through this step of the recruiting process. See you next week.